I feel my laptop's just shut down, so I've got to grab my. Seriously, I tell you what, today has just been a day that is just so strange. Every day is so strange. But, like, one thing that has become absolutely apparent to me is that this has all caused, like, this. It's not, I don't think anxiety is the right word. I don't think anxiety is the right word. I think people are misunderstanding anxiety. It, it's like take tonight, right? I was sitting here doing a live and I was really, really, really looking forward to talking about this lady that I've met. I won't mention her name. She's very, 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 very private lady, lovely lady, beautiful lady. She's Muslim. She's actually, I was quite shocked actually when I was learning her geography today. And I really, really, I was like, I've been on the phone with Natasha Hook, and I was laughing at her because I said, "Oh, is this me here, swinging the fishing line out, and you're the hook to bring all this together?" And then Australia then turn around and say about they need a spine and to take the hook out their mouth. So of course, I think I think the challenge that I have with all of this is I don't have access to people's records. I don't have access to people's information. And it's a double edged sword, isn't it? Because I don't like having people having information on me. I don't like that this paperwork presents a complete different thing. And the police today knocking on my door was actually doing something to somebody else here in this block that they do to me after Aaron and Faith were taken. So after Aaron and Faith were taken, and I went to my friend Jason's, like the police and all the people who were serving me, they were like knocking on people's doors and telling them like, and they don't really say anything because it's a breach of confidentiality to say anything. But basically tonight I was given warning. Well, I wasn't even given warning. They didn't really say what they were actually here for. All they were basically saying was that like I'm in the middle of a managed move, and people here are being quite nice, and so people are helping out and things like that. But like, I have absolute anxiety. I can't leave my kids with anybody. It's like I can do a quick dart to the washing machine, and I can do a quick dart to go and grab some milk and come back. But like, I couldn't go out socially. I couldn't like, I couldn't like, I don't know, say to Dean on Saturday like, look, we really, really need to talk. And in fact, we don't even need to talk, Dean. We just need to go out and enjoy ourselves together. Like, I haven't got anybody that I would feel that as a mother, and not just as a mother, but as a mother who has complex trauma over any police officer attending anywhere near me or my children, that causes me I, I don't even know. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. What does it do to me? How can you explain to somebody who sees the state and the police as, take the police for example, protect and serve. So there are people in this world right here, right now, who their mindset and thinking is that okay, so the policeman plod that's down the road is somebody that you can ring up if, say, you've had a burglary. You can ring up if you say you get raped. You can ring up if someone breaks into your car. You can ring up if somebody commits some form of criminal act towards you. Okay. Now, people then believe that obviously the police protect and serve the people. But that protect and serve is not about the people. That protect and serve is about the crown. And like tonight, two male police officers at my front door who were lovely. Do you know what? it's so difficult because there's a lot of Christian preachers that will tell you, and I don't, and it's right, wrong, whatever. They say we're born sinners, yeah. And yes, okay, we come into the world anally fixated and orally fixated, if you want to be a Freudian. And as children, we can be really like stampy feet and selfie and want, needs. But does that make us full of sin? Now, if you come into the world to two loving parents and two sets of beautiful, wonderful grandparents, and you might have, you know, a brother or a sister already in the world, or one comes after you, or a brother comes after you, and then you might have uncles and aunts that are in the world, and then you might have cousins in the world, and then obviously you've got family and friends into the world, and every child is born into a like a framework basically. So okay, the role of dad is to hunt and gather and go and get the food and things like that. Unless you're a penguin, then it's the mothers that go and do it, and it's the man who sits on the eggs. So there isn't a there isn't a particular real structure. And I was having a wonderful conversation with Zara tonight, and sorry Zara, I've just mentioned her name, but I was having such a beautiful conversation with her about, in the Muslim, we were talking about the Quran, and like a lot of people believe like Muslim men and the woman walks behind them, and when they're on the period, you don't sit on the chair and all of this. But I actually got to learn that this is actually incorrect. And actually, when a woman is on a period, a man has to really, really look after his wife, like major look after her wife, like feed her grapes, look after her. The woman is the queen. You know, the woman is the queen. She has to be provided with gold and luxury in life because she is the queen, and that is the man's job. But it's so difficult now because we live in a world now where, I don't know, Henry VIII has wrecked it for us. Like, Henry VIII has destroyed everything that I think the good old British family values had. Like, I was never around. I don't ever remember this period of time of good old proper traditional families and values. Unfortunately, I have always been in a dysfunctional family. I don't know what normal is. Um, I think I think we all have some form of element of dysfunctional families, or one black sheep that causes a lot of dysfunction within one's family. I think I remember doing a video once. It's a shame I've lost many of my videos, but I got, seriously guys, I've bust my ankle tonight. My wrist is fucked. Seriously, euthanasia me. They might as well. If I was a dog, I'd be put down. I really would. Um, Nice to talk to Liam tonight as well. I really just want to bring my family back together. I just feel so lost without all of my kids. Like literally, if you imagine in the world, like little girl Kelly, born in Portsmouth, literally just sort of like left in a crib, yellow, jaundice, with this body that was doing what it was doing, who was probably quite fetched out by the fluorescent lights at the hospital, potentially. I know how I am when I'm in hospital. I hate it. I hate hospitals. I hate it. It's because then fluorescent lights. In fact, I've just had an idea. I know what I need to do now. I know what I need to do. I was talking to Caroline Dinenage office today about this scanner. And I could go out in the papers, right? And the papers would write this article and it would say, Kelly needs life-saving operation to save life. I've seen it. I've seen so many EDS appeals for the money for this. I've seen so many. And it's like, I don't think the country understand the advancement in this technology that's going on and how it really helps people like me. It's not the mark of the beast, people. It's not, you know, if I have a vaccination to go to the airport and travel the world, and you know want to keep rid of polio and stuff, that's just advancement of technology. You know, if I want to have even this chip in the back of my head or whatever it is at the moment to do with the stuff to do with my spine, You know, that's not the mark of the beast either. People are really, 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 really misunderstanding the whole book of Revelations, what the mark of the beast is. Yes, it's really important, and we're in a really massive pinnacle time right now. But the Lord said to get our own homes in order, and that's why we're all told that we're selfish. Like, and then they teach you that, oh, you're a narcissist because, you know, you think the world revolves around you, and how can you think about yourself and don't do this and don't do that and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, that's not actually true. That's not actually true. To be constantly depleted and everybody taken from you. It's like, even though I've had the police here today, you know, like this particular woman has actually come down here tonight. She ended up going and getting drunk. And she's been down here so abusive. She's been going on about me being a fraud running for mayor. And it's like, no, I'm not running for mayor, darling. I'm a female for a start. I'd be a mayoress. Yes, I'm very serious about running for parliament. I'm very serious about once I have crossed over and I've gone over to this flat, if they actually do this to me, I have to get this writing in. I have to. I am literally verbally fucking screaming at people, not literally like yeah at people, but I'm like saying like seriously, I can put you in prison for what you're doing. I don't think you understand because this really is a situation of saying like these people really don't get it, and it's like I'm glad you don't get it. I'm glad you don't get it. Yes, John wrong, John right. He knows I live about him. Maybe he sits and watches my live now. I don't know. But John Wrong, you know, he has had slip discs. He knows what's. See, I've got a police car driving past me right now, yet again. And it's like, sometimes I think I'm going really fucking mad. And it's like, I had the police literally knocking on my door. And then I finally come down at the end of the night being, I had to go and get, um, can't remember her name. I'm stuck now because my drying's downstairs, my washing's downstairs. I've got to put it in the tumble dryer, and like I can't shoot just downstairs now, and you know leave my kids in the house. I have to have somebody up here, and it's like, but who do I ask? I've had Phoebe doing it for a long time, and then they calls me aggro because of her age. Jamie's helped me out, and it's like I can't deal with his dad because he thinks rape doesn't exist. Um, and it's like when I was at Save the Family, I made a comment about the people that were living there weren't my friends, and it's like I need these boundaries. And they made this comment about it being narcissistic because, you know, I can always remember at school. Do you remember they always said you are the 5 people that you will be with, and any success training as well. They always tell you about the 5 people that you need in your life. They always tell you that smart people have a really, really small circle, and it's like, but you know what? Every single person that could you imagine if I sat down with every single person who come into my life and said, "Hello, who are you and what's your name? Do you have criminal activities? Is there anything in your life? Could you tell me whether you and your partner argue? Do you do drugs on a Saturday night? Do you like to dress up as a woman on a certain night? Can you tell me whether you've ever had an affair?" Like, talk about trust issues, man. Like, chill out, be cool, have self-worth. And it's like, or hang on a minute, if you have fear and anxiety, then you must be paranoid. And it's like, since I have been here, what people have got to remember is I came from Downing Street. I didn't just come straight from Downing Street. We literally came from Dean's court case being closed. So I went from Downing Street to this, right, we're going to Bristol, we're going to sort his land, and we're going to really focus on sorting our lives out and creating a space for the kids. To all of a sudden, Dean House on fucking remand, me holding the governor in at the freaking prisoners like I did for Strange Ways with Stephen, and like, you know, little little baby Elijah, little absolute wonderful, beautiful, adorable little Elijah in my belly. When you bring life into your womb, it should be one of the biggest celebrations ever. Like, I love these cultures or religions or faith. Culture and religion is 2 different things. And I'm even learning stuff that I didn't even see myself in, understanding other people's cultures. And it's been really beautiful. I love the Western culture. I don't understand why people are so fearful of Muslims, and just because they don't believe that Jesus is you know, everybody, every religion, every culture, every family, everything has something that's not quite working because we've all gone through the same system. We have all been put through the same system. And if you weren't in the system, then you were a hippie or you were a gypsy or a traveller. And we've had this system that has existed for so long, and they wonder why we have so much mental health. They wonder why there's so much depression. They wonder why people have social anxiety. Even worse, when people are walking around in probes going, oh, let's see how this person reacts. We actually have reactive think tanks in this country. Do you know that? I mean, I couldn't believe it when I first got into psychology on like how they do their studies. Has anyone actually seen the Milgrams? The Milgram, it's a film. It's watch it. It's called. It's no, not the Milgram's conformity experiment. It's called. Oh, what is it? It's. Sorry, I was just reading someone's comment that I. What was it called? It was the one where, and this is pretty much what I'm talking about as well. It. Oh, what was it called? Shit, I'll post it for you. Um, it was called. What was it called? It was where they took uh, a sample of people, and then they divide them into half, and one was to become the prisoner, and one was to become the guards. And it was a proper prison, and then basically they left them to basically set the rules out. The rules were done, how they were to live. The guards had to implement it, and the prisoners had to deal with it basically. But how quickly it changed. It's a fucking fantastic film to watch. They've actually put it into a film. This is the sort of stuff that I'm talking about. Apart from, these people are studying it from a point of view of them having leadership. I don't like this word leadership, and I've been a big person on, now I am the voice, I will lead, not follow, I'll create, not destroy, believe, not doubt, I am a force of God, I am a force of God, defy your odds, step up, step up. You know, I'm a massive big person for all of this. So, you know, I can even remember the other one. Ann Summers is run by women, for women, to enable them to feel confident about their sexuality. It's about speech, isn't it? It's about a programmed speech. It's about, like, I can guarantee you, Boris Johnson doesn't speak. Oh, my hip's just gone. Shit. I've. Do you know why my hip's just gone? My hip's just gone. Do you want to believe in Chinese philosophies? Why is my hip gone? My hip's just gone because I've just set a really big goal in my head and a vision. I've just had a vision while I was talking to you. In Chinese philosophies, when your hip goes, it means that you've set something so bigger than what you believe that you can achieve that you're not quite sure how to take the first step. Lower back is that you don't feel supported, and then lots of other things. So, ow, 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 ow. Do you want to listen to what EDS is? Watch my feet for a minute. This is me getting up. Do you want to have a laugh? Ready? Hang on. Let me see if I can actually show you. Oh, I've got my finger over the fucking camera, excuse me. Let me see if I can actually show it. Alright, so I'm stuck, yeah? Oh, I think I've already done it. Oh my goodness. Oh, oh. Seriously, I've learned over the years that there is absolutely no point whatsoever. It's like, seriously, like, people who are around me, I just have to kick people around me so I can just get on with it my own way. Do you know what I mean? Look, and it's like, and then you show people what you can do. Oh, seriously, I've got to crack everything. Then you show people what you can do. It's like, what are you whinging about that for? It's like the barrister when they took my kids. She was like, oh, I got a little bit of hypermobility. What's the thing? It's like, seriously, hypermobility, EDS, two different fucking things, people. Like, even physios need to understand this. We have autonomous problems as blah, 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 blah. Is it witchcraft? Is it demonizing? Is it trauma? I tried all of this, guys. I thought that my deep-rooted childhood abuse, sexual abuse, was the issue. I really did. It's why I took my degree in psychology. It's why I got into coaching. It's why I practiced and went into pretty much every spiritual path and thinking and gathering that I could have ever have gone from. I've done Hare Krishna. I have done Buddhism. I have done everything. I even used to write on my MSN, what was it, when it used to say what the religion was, I used to say, covering myself from all angles. Literally, that's what I used to write, covering myself from all angles. And it's the most craziest thing ever that, like, I can remember what I was like in RE at school. I used to grind my teeth on my jumper. The RE teacher used to batter me out the classroom, literally battered me out the classroom. Um, you know, I remember when I got married, I thought I was going to freaking burn in hell because I was this contaminated, dirty, filthy person because of things that had happened to me. And I think that's what people forget. There's happening to you, and there's oh shit, there goes my ankle. And then there is you putting yourself in silly situations. And it's like, it's what really pisses me off about being here. Like, Aaron's dad, Aaron and Faith's dad, you know, I'm not here to diss the man. I loved him. You know, I'm not here to diss the man at all. I've never been here to put him down. I've never been about putting him down. I don't agree with a lot of the things that he did. I don't agree with a lot of the things that he put me through what he was going through. But I know what he went through with his own father. Same as Dean. I absolutely love and adore that man. I always will. Dean is, to me, the best thing that ever walked this fucking planet. He rocks, and I think he's amazing, and he's given me two wonderful, beautiful boys. And nothing will change that. It's just that when you're dealing with what I'm dealing with right now, with what's happened with this social care file, it annoys me because if I was sitting on Higher 8 DLA, Higher 8 Care, or sitting on PIP or whatever, I probably wouldn't be having as many struggles as I am. It's literally about ticking boxes. It's about what boxes you tick. The challenge being is there is this absolute fine line in, take counselling, for example. Talking to a counsellor is completely confidential. However, every counsellor has to then warn you pre-counselling that if you say anything that may actually be in line with child protection, therefore they would have to report anything that you say. So how can you be open and transparent and get the sort of help that you need? Like my argument with children's social care at the moment. Argument. Kelly always has no argument. It's fucking argument, mate. I'm telling you what my trauma is. I know what my trauma is. I know what my issues are. I know. Right, let's deal with this now. I know how to deal with this. Let's explain this fucking bullshit. Let's fucking explain this bullshit. Here we go. You're watching me go through all of this fucking cunting, wanking, arsehole. Forgive the freaking language. I've got to get it out somewhere. Otherwise, it just manifests inside me. Okay, so let's take this. Let's deal with why this pisses me off. This pisses me off. I never got to finish reading this because this is a child protection progress report. Okay, so Portsmouth City Council. Okay, well, hang on a minute. I thought I'm the one being assessed. So, but it's Children's Social Services, isn't it? So straight away it's got Elijah's number on it. Elijah even has a child's reference CM number now. Wow. So my children have a permanent freaking record on them for absolutely no RCID, no reason whatsoever. I have already, meeting room number. So you were sitting in a meeting room. Okay. So even though you're doing all of your meetings in Zoom, actually you are in the meetings. Well, okay, I will. Okay. So the next meeting is on the, is it really? Is that when the next meeting really is? These people having a laugh. 29th of October at 9:30 a.m. in the morning. For an EDS person, you really don't get us, do you? Prime example, straight away. Meeting number 3. So it looks like I've actually got to attend the meeting. No, they were in the meeting room. So anyway, let's get on with this. I'll explain to you why it pisses me off. So, straight away, risks. Children are exposed to their mother's emotional poor regulation. overcrowded house. The family are of four, living in a one-bedroom accommodation. Exposure to parent conflict caused by them, and you people putting it lives. Whilst education is not mandatory, the growth and development of the children's needs to be planned so they continue to thrive. That's it. That's it. Now, people, please. This poor, poor regulation, right? As you all know, on the 13th of December was the anniversary of Aaron and Faith being taken as of 7 years, and I decided to prepare for Christmas and get everything done, completely defrag my house, clean the carpets, ready for Christmas, blah, 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 13th of December, sorry. I ended up with security here because this is a fucking FEMA camp with security and police and council. As I've showed you, this here is the council building hub. So literally, as from tomorrow, and then literally across that road is the police station. Well, actually, there's a massive big new one, and then it's the massive big this is a city, yeah? And then this will literally flood tomorrow with social workers, carers, housing officers, fucking support workers. It's fucking nuts. But they're not doing anything. They're just making sure they're getting a housing benefit, aren't they? So anyway, what significant harm have Elijah and Shiloh experienced or at risk of? That's all they're asking. Okay. So please tell me how this opening question has anything, has anything to do with me being an EDS mother. So basically, I've been through 9 months of hell. So here we go. I'll read it to you. Team manager to explore psychological assessment for Kelly Cottam. That's basically what they wanted done. So Terry Johnson, progress update. Unclear why this action is against the team leader. So what she's saying is, why have I got to make this decision? I don't know whether we should make this decision. Why has this been put on me? There was a psychological assessment. By the way, this has just proved my point with Aaron and Faith. They asked for a psychiatric assessment, not a psychological assessment. This has just proved what I've been saying the whole time. There was a psychological assessment in 2013. That was to take Aaron and Faith for forced adoption. And there was a psychiatric in 2016, and it was thought not necessary to have another assessment. So no, they don't want to assess me. They just put me through 9 months of hell to not assess me because I don't actually have emotional regulation. I have arsehole issues and putting people into whatever. So the next one, social worker to speak to ASC in regards to her to advocate to support Kelly around her Asperger's and the management of her responses, or to consider a referral to family safeguarding services. So it's like, So anyway, the social worker has discussed with Ms. Cottam, agreed to this, an appointment has been set up, but cancelled due to staff illness. Another appointment was set up, again, cancelled. Adult social services have still not done their assessment as they were meant to do, and it has absolutely nothing to do with EDS. Okay. Application for a management move is waiting. Housing options agreement. John to follow up the estate management. Timescale allocation will then be identified. John Wright. Housing were not attending today, but are actively looking for property for the family. So they went ahead without the adult assessment. This is why it pisses me off. This is why I get mad. There needs to be agreement between parents whether the new property will be in single or joint names. Prior to the application, the single signing new agreements. Ms. Cottam, Ms. Samuel. Ms. Cottam would like to think that they would move as a family. Ms. Cottam relays that she feels the department have defamed her to Mr. Samuel. Ms. Cottam wouldn't discuss this properly in the meeting. Well, actually, I did. I told them straight. I said, you have literally, the fact that you're doing this again, and it says that it's not saying that I'm an EDS Asperger's mother and what it is correctly. You are defaming me. You are assassinating my character. Social worker consider offering one-on-one sessions around healthy relationship responses weekly and review 6 weekly. There hasn't been much progress on this work. There's been some informal conversations. The family worker is planning to talk to Mr. Samuel about working with the family safeguarding services. Now, funny enough, do you know, I've been trying to get her all week. She ignores me. I made one comment today about working with her on something. She rings me back. An early years education plans needs to be created. Ms Cottam continues to liaise closely with EDS and AS homeschooling networks. The children will continue to attend David Lloyd Creche. Ms Cottam feels the boys are developing well. Ms Cottam feels that the boys have EDS. There's a 50% chance likely, but they have not been diagnosed yet. Ms Cottam has said that the children are not going to school until they're diagnosed. That's not what I said. The children attend the creche at David Lloyd when Miss Cottam attends. Tracy Lewis has noticed Shiloh hadn't used the 2-year funding. Well, I'd already told them all of this in the previous assessment, so why are you doing all of this again? Miss Cottam's views fluctuate in terms of agreeing whether or not the children should go to nursery. She feels that this is dependent on them having a diagnosis. Miss Cottam feels that she will progress when she feels the right time. Miss Samuel says the social worker that he is open to the children going to nursery. Miss Cottam relays that the children can't be diagnosed until they are 5 years old. And that's it. Oh no. Ms Cottam to consider an application for a school place for Elijah post-lockdown. Most children of Elijah's age are joining reception, but that doesn't have to attend until the term of his 5 years. Health visitor to complete speech and language recall. And then it's just a long thing about Bath, and she goes on about Rodney Graham. Here we go. The GP has made a referral to Bath where they have a specialist. We've all read the letter that they don't. Ms Cottam is not happy with this and said that she wants them to refer to Rodney Graham, who is a specialist, is not on the NHS. A speech and language review was done on Shiloh. He is a little behind on the sound production. He hasn't got lots of words. His understanding is good. However, he is not significantly delayed, but he is progressing. He didn't need a formal speech language assessment yet. Patricia did offer one. Ms Cottam didn't initially say no, didn't think it was necessary. The social worker thought Ms Cottam was more open to this yesterday when discussed it, but not now. Ms Cottam reports that Shiloh has seen an expert, but hasn't provided evidence of this. Well, he has. Core meeting to take place in no less frequently than every 6 weeks. All core members to assure they are represented. 6 week, all core group members. So all core group members, all core group members. So, Ms Cottam, during this meeting, Ms Cottam continues to challenge and not listen, and constantly said that the department is defaming her. Ms Cottam says she's going to go to United Nations, and also that the children should have been dealt with as having EDS. Ms Cottam said she'd like the social worker to be the au pair for the children and to advocate them. I did, actually. That's it. Miss Relays, she's in terrible pain with her neck. She used the chair. It's like raping her. You're out to mute. Ms Cottam is unhappy with the department being involved with her family and feels it's causing her trauma. Ms Cottam says that she's taking the department to court via judicial review and seeking compensation. Ms Cottam continues to state the department is negligent and keeps talking about various professionals have done to her. Ms Cottam says there have been 6 social workers since December. It believes that some of these duty social workers, Ms Cottam then started talking about not being allowed to take the children swimming at the same time. Ms Cottam needs help with educating Mr Samuel about EDS, that's true. Ms Cottam says she needs surgery at some point. She doesn't need help and wouldn't explain this. Something about her relationship. Ms Cottam said she had been defamed by the department. Ms Cottam kept referring to the past and her children removed. Ms Cottam said she's building an office in her flat with all the paperwork given to her by the children's department. Ms Cottam feels that the department are causing the children to make attachments and then leave. Let's read that again. Ms Cottam feels the department are causing the children to make attachments and then leave. Now that's the end of it. Where in there does it talk anything about what is actually... I'm banging my head against the fucking brick wall. The system is abusive. The system is abusive. It's this multi-agency. It's too many people. It's like, and this, I'm coming from a coaching point of view, yeah. You can't have parents going, right, you got this going on every 6 weeks, this got to be done every 21 days, this got to be done this. Like, they don't even sit down and explain to the parents what's going on around them. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and there are people weaker than me going through this. That paperwork shouldn't even be written like that. That's in my boys' names. It's like me when I got my foster care file and it had all my dad and my mum stuff in, and it's like, that's not right. That's not right. That's my mum's file. That's my dad's file. That's between them. That shouldn't be in mine. And it's like, I've actually had this for 42 years now because, oh, look, I see a fox. You see, I see him out here every night. He's out here every night, this one. You know, it was like, I remember pissing myself at a party, not being able to go to the toilet when I was young. I was desperate and I was telling people I needed a toilet and I was told I'd just been and I didn't need to go and I ended up weeing all over the floor, and it's like, I'm really hurting myself at netball at junior school, and then sitting on that bed at my nan's that time with my knees and like being in so much pain, going through like social, I'm like getting expelled from school because they didn't do a networking meeting. Like, that took my education away from me and that wasn't my fault. And then I'm the expelled kid, and it's like, but hang on a minute, I've read the paperwork. I'm not a bad person, do you know what I mean? I'm just somebody who was born with a condition that, like, it's very isolating. It's very isolating dealing what I deal with. I don't deal with people very well because, like, prime example, I've got police coming and telling me just to give me a heat up warning because, you know, she'd mentioned my kids, and it's like, I just want to be in my own home. I just want to be in, I've got this perfect picture of this environment that I want to be in for my kids, this environment that I've got for my children, so they don't have to worry about having to go to work to pay for fucking bills and shit, and it's just got everything that they need there. Travel, see the world. I don't want my kids going into this system. I'm negotiating my car for my website today. But I'm at a massive loss. But at the end of the day, I've saved my car for 3 days now, so I would have lost it. And once I'm over there, it's fine. I can do without a car here for a bit. I can't particularly, this judge has got these 6 points on me. You know, it's like 200 quid a month to insure the car at the moment, so I needed to change the car anyway, and it's already ended up depleting me this month already, that I'm already fucked for the rest of the month. So all I can really do is just put all my hope and faith in this website, and I'm not the sort of person who can fall on their ass. I just can't let social see me struggle or find things hard, or like, even if they do put me in this room with the stairs, my attitude has to be that that's my stairmaster, that's my training, that's, I'm gonna overcome that every day, every time I've got to carry things out, even the bin downstairs. And it's like, I hope one day one of these specialists reads my book and knows that I was like banging on their door and their like secretaries or their teams, or the cost and the price was put, and that's got to be my focus now, getting all my medical paid for. My mum and dad should be running around like fucking arseholes getting this done, asking the family and everything to just get me to these fucking specialists to just stop all this shit. Apparently I don't know my own body, and it's so difficult to explain to people, like how, like my neighbour, how does my neighbour explain to other people what it feels like to have a line put in his chest and to go through, you know, dialysis and stuff, unless you've had dialysis. But then each person's experience might be different. It's like labour, isn't it? Going through labour, some mums can just push a baby out, some mums are screaming the roof down, people's pain thresholds are different, people's designs are different. How I deal with EDS is different to how somebody else deals with it. How I overcome my trauma is different to how other people do, and do you know what I mean? But hey, put a label on it, mental health, hey? Oh, seriously, she got mental health issues. Yeah, of course I got fucking mental health issues. You kidnapped my freaking kids. You've traumatised me constantly more since I've been out here. I have taken trolling and everything for just speaking out over what's happened. I've done my best to speak out on a bigger, wider picture of everything that's going on, even though it doesn't actually affect me personally. And it's always like that. MPs, they talk about things that don't affect them personally. And it's like, I've got this really good, kind heart, and I know I have, and I really do care about people. But, mad boys, I just can't have that one situation. Like, even today, the police could have pulled mental health on me today. They could have. They could have. They could have. They only have to call. They only have to call a child protection order. They don't have to have a court order to take kids off you. This is what people don't realise. He doesn't have to run over to the judge and say, we attended the property, she didn't answer the door, because I didn't even hear the door while I did. I was on my live to you, but and I thought it was one of these people here and I couldn't be arsed with it. And it's like, people don't realise, like, literally those two police officers at that door there and then, the moment my two boys, do you know how it felt for me knowing that my two boys were going to bolt out of that door and I was going to lock myself out into the front? You know how it felt for someone like me to be on my own in that situation? To know that each of them police officers could have scooped my kids up and had social workers stood at the two exits like they did 9 months ago. And literally my kids would have been gone. But that's not what happened, is it? And it doesn't mean that every time I see a police officer that they're thinking whether or not they should take my little boys from me. But I worry about it all the time, like whether they've got sticky fingers and ice cream all over their faces, and then the social worker wants to turn up who hasn't got kids, and it's like I have to keep my kids clean all the time. And you know, even like the one fucking time that I'll go all the way down to the beach and I don't take like their little backpack with me, and I have to let them walk back in their pants because they got soaking wet. They were fine. We live in a seaside centre, but then when I get up this side, it's like knit, 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 and it was like, you know, I walked back with my own coat off. Do you know what I mean? In order to like wrap my kids up and things. I remember when I was like, I think it was about 20, 19. I don't know, I would have been about 18. And I didn't have a rain cover on my son's buggy. I really wasn't expecting it to rain. I don't think anybody was. It wasn't a warm day though, but it wasn't a wet, rainy day. But I did have a coat on. I know I had a jumper or a coat on. And I remember it absolutely threw it down. And there's me and Mum coming home piss wet through because I must have had like something like this on over like a vest top. And I come home absolutely piss wet through. But I'd put the coat over my child, do you know what I mean? And then I hear all these rumours like, oh, she's suffocating her son in a coat, and oh, look at her freaking coming up the road, all this sort of stuff. And it was like, God, nobody saw a young mum put a coat over her child, did they? It's like when I first got into this attribution stuff and I wanted to be this attribution specialist, that's what I trained to want to do. And I never, ever, ever imagined how people project on people. And I suppose I've been really naive a lot of my life as well in thinking that, you know, all people are really good. They just go through really bad experiences. It changes them. Angry people are just like lonely people and always trying to see the best in people and things. To then have to go, like what really annoys me is I started really relaxing here this week. That I put my dress back on today. So my little combat dress. I know it's a dress, but it's a combat dress. And I had flip-flops on because I just felt that I wasn't as vulnerable as I needed to feel because I felt that I've been, okay, it's not my friends. Tom and Rihanna call me their friends, and that's lovely, but it's not. We're just doing a business arrangement, I suppose, in sorting the car. But and people take my current situation as weakness, and I know this. I know this. I know. I'm very aware that in situations and in places, environments like this, that when somebody is like on the bangs of their fucking ass, that people do like to take advantage of people's situations, and I get that and I know that, and I'm very, very, very aware of how alcoholics and drug users manipulate and things, and it's sad. It's very sad. It's sad that they need to do it. It's sad that they need to do it. It's sad that so many people are just stuck on this little treadmill of what they're trying to achieve each day without some form of vision or concept of some form of reality. Like, what I find so hard around here is people don't know themselves. Like, even if I went out there and just danced in the rain, which I would love to do right now if I had Dean up here, and I'd go out if Dean was here, I'd go out on my roller skates. And it's like the amount of people who would say, oh, I wish I could dance, or I love dancing, or but people don't understand that concept, do they? Of dance like nobody's watching, or dance like everybody's watching. You know, we've got so trapped in this what people think, and it's so different with police and social. Like, just the fact that I didn't answer the door immediately and they had to do their bang, 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 you know, and yes, they've come from somebody else's and they just wanted to check something with me, and that's fine. But they don't understand that I have trauma. What do I have to do? Do I have to put a big sign on the fucking door? If you're a police officer, please be aware that I have complex trauma because of your bang, bang, bang on the door, because I don't know what you're here for. I don't know what you're coming for. I don't know what it's about. I can't just open my door in a normal, happy manner and say, hey, Bill, hey, John, because we don't know each other because we live in a city. And I can't just sort of like open my door and be okay with this because you could have the wrong perception of me, and then I've got to deal with the actual anxiety that I'm on fucking camera from the very moment that I'm opening the door because you feel that you can just video me without my permission and my rights. So then yes, I am going to get my camera and I am going to film you because I don't feel that I have any witnesses around me, and if I've filmed it, at least in a court of law, if I can present it because it's filmed unlawful, I can actually say, well, actually, Lord, look at the video before and I was fine. Look at the video before and I was processing things and I was talking things through. And then I think, is this related to Caroline Dinenage? Is it just a harassment? Is it just a coincidence? And then I think, I've not had that situation. And now I'm sitting here talking to you with my leg shaking at, look. And that's me just processing what I'm dealing with. That's just, this is what they call, this is what they call, this is what they call, stick Kelly in the fucking lion's den, put her fucking eyes out, and then having a go at her when she fucking rips your head off. children are exposed to their mother's emotional poor regulation. Well, please tell me how you decided this emotional poor regulation when you don't want. Did a psychological, did a psychiatrist tell you I have that? I did it, or did you take it from your textbook from an autistic thing, or did you just come up with that sentence out of your tick boxes, or did you manage to get your dissertation by using that freaking sentence? Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I just think it's abusive, and people understand rape, they understand sexual abuse. Oh, sorry, actually, there's some people in the world that don't think that child sexual abuse hurts children. Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. But this stuff, when I want to live my life this way because it works for me. It helps me thrive. This is how I thrive. This is survival. I don't like to survive because it's not very nice. So therefore, I know how to get the best out of me because I've known myself for 42 years. Believe it or not, I have been in the same body for 42 years. I haven't been able to teleport out of my body and go and experience my life through anybody else's perception but my own. I was born into this body. I've grown into this body. I know every up and down I've been through. I've known what's made me cry. I know what movies really get to that core. I know what I can't watch. Don't give me anything like fucking Child's Play. Don't give me, no, I can just tolerate Saw because Saw's got some psychological fucking twist in it. But the moment the really noisy things go in and people are doing really bloody things, I'm the one going like that. Yeah, I know this. I know what ice cream I like. I know what my favourite ice lollies are. I know what yogurts I do like and what yogurts I don't like. And when you get them little packs, don't leave me the cherry one, please. You know, I know what I need. And I don't need to be a mother of 2 children. I need to be a mother of 6 children. 6 children. Yes, these. Yes, this is my life. Liam is my life. Liam is my life. He's been my life since I transitioned from a child to an adult with him in my womb. And we have been best friends our entire life. Me and Liam have been best friends our entire lives. We grew up together, you know, it's a different relationship because I was a teen mum, but we grew up together. We grew up together. And he needs me. He needs me. Daniel still needs me. But they need Aaron and Faith. It's not the same. No birthday is ever the same without them. No Christmas is ever the same. Aaron and Faith, Elijah and Shiloh, I love so much. I love them so much. I am their mother and I adore them and I will do anything and everything for them. But when we sit there at birthdays, they are the same age as Aaron and Faith were when they were taken. And it's like, can't replace Aaron and Faith. No one can replace my Faithy girl. She's my only daughter. She's my only little girl. And all of my kids complement each other. Do you know what I mean? That's the most beautiful thing about all of my kids. It's like everything that Elijah and Shiloh really need right now exists in the family framework that they already have. We don't need outsiders. We don't need strangers. I don't need to be going and paying people to do all of these things because with their brothers and sisters, they have all of they need. They do. You know, Rocco would very much love to be on the skateboard park with Shiloh. I know this to be true. That's Dean's son. I know this. I know he would do that. And Liam loves these boys. It's hard for him. Daniel is too much. It's too much. He's great with them, but it's too much. And Aaron, oh my word, like Elijah's like a little mini Aaron sometimes. I miss them so much. I can't be fucking about with 2-bedroom flats, because 2-bedroom flats say to me that I have nowhere for when Aaron and Faith knock on my door to say, come in, there's Elijah and Shiloh's room for you. No, no, I'm not stopping. I might not be where I need to be right now, but I'm not stopping. This is not it. I'll never ever forget something that Will Smith said once in one of his interviews. And he said his mum always made them know that whatever home they were in, that's not where they were stopping. That wasn't their lives. It was just helping them move forward to the way they wanted to go. Is it just an internal thing? Can I wake up tomorrow morning vision of where I want to be, and all of a sudden everything co-creates to come around that? Of course it works like that. Of course it's about what you focus on, of course. But then I'm talking about Caroline Dinenage, and I got the police knocking on my door, and my emotions are thrown into fucking turmoil. It's horrible, it's horrible, it's horrible. And people think this is a game, people think this is drama. I suppose it's the same for a man who's got into a relationship with a woman who's come out of a domestic violent relationship, and then he's got to understand why she's the way that she is. And a woman who's come out of a domestic violent relationship will go 2 different ways, if you want to call it a domestic violent relationship. Power and coerce. But remember, it's not about flesh and blood, it's about power and principalities. But a woman who's been in that situation, when she goes into another relationship, and this is something that's not really actually talked about. In fact, what they do is they make it worse. They'll go 1 in 4 are killed by a man, woof, and they create this whole war between men and women, and it's crazy. But a woman will go 2 ways. She'll either become this cowering little thing that's a little bit worried that she might get a hook and a slap, or actually she's going to come out and she's going to be a bit low like this. What are you going to do? Fucking hit me? You know, so it's a double-edged sword again. But we don't have the structures in this country to actually properly counsel and support people and help people. Everything is done through a domestic violence point of view, or relate, and it's like, but then you can't talk about anything that's raising your voice now, don't shout now, you know. And yeah, it's crazy. And I'm speaking to another couple that are separated, and they know it's this place. They know this place has desperately ruined it. People want to get out of England. People don't want to stay in England. But I tell you what, there's better places and worse places. But you've got to deal with what's going on in here. And that's really difficult for me to do, because until this is resolved, until this paperwork stops persecuting me. I'm glad it doesn't still talk about Aaron and Faith. You know, usually every fucking starts with a sentence about Aaron and Faith. You know, and then I'm not allowed to talk about Aaron and Faith. Oh, you're not allowed to talk about the past. One day I'm going to turn around and say to him, do you know that degree that you sitting in front of me with that turned you into a social worker? Can we take that degree away from you, please? And then that means you're not a qualified social worker, because that's your past. And what the fuck got you to be a qualified social worker, to come into somebody else's life and lord over them and reign over them? And how's this? I'm a coach, yeah? I'm a coach. Yeah, I'm a coach. This, bollocks. I'm sorry, but if an actual correct freaking proper psychotherapist coach sat down and actually read this is bollocks. This is nothing. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to work with people. You can't... Look, I'm an EDS person that's got a meeting booked at 9:30 in the morning. All right, what you want to try and do? Prove whether or not I can exist in your timeframes. Well, I'm sorry, but your timeframes don't work for me. I don't run and work your way. I have a condition that I have to live with on a daily basis, and that comes first. My health comes first. My health comes first for anything. Me and my kids' health. Has to. I can't from this environment, because I can't quite get there. It's not about can't. I just haven't got that routine and structure and that support system. But I'm constantly moving towards that. And it's like... Oh, seriously, the system. They understand that what happened historically with forced adoptions was probably one of the most horrendous things. But watching it going on at the moment, and you know what? It's not even the removal that's the biggest problem. It's the fear of a removal. I have even spoken to another woman today who has had social knock and stuff on the thing, and she's been shitting herself ever since. In her culture, you can give your kids a smack. Over in England, you can't. So now she's got to relearn absolutely anything. She doesn't, and she's petrified of raising her voice. Her and her husband are petrified of even, you know, arguing. Could you imagine the British police in between an Italian family? Can you imagine calling mama? Oh, seriously. That's Western. We ain't got a fucking clue. I can't wait until I show them how this should be done. I'll be writing it for myself. I'm pissed off with my cousin right now. He's really let me down. And he's really let me down. But I am literally going to create what this should be. It shouldn't even be about child protection, is it? It should be about supporting a mother on a managed move to the correct support place for the kids. This should be talking about the kids' garden. They already know that I was going to be homeschooling. This should be talking about my children's medical needs. This should be talking about the fact that the boys need orthotics in their shoes. This should be talking about, even at the beginning of my life, when I sort my hand, and I realised when I was watching it, I thought, oh yeah, there's things like that with the boys that you'll see. We should be talking about how we deal with A&E. We should be talking about my trauma. We should be talking about how me and Dean are going to work together for Dean to be able to take the kids out without me panicking. And, you know, and he doesn't, and people don't get it. People don't get the trauma with the police. Put me in a fucking room with 20 fucking police officers, please, and just let me kick the shit out of them and take that power back and know that if a police officer comes and touches my arm, that I can get myself out of it. But if I nutted a police officer, I would do the injury to my neck. If I punched them, I'd probably bust my shoulder. I'm not a violent person. This is the thing. I'm not a violent person. Like, by nature, I'm just not that way out, and I don't like having to go from taking my sandals off and going into the hallway and having to put my tracksuit bottoms and my trainers back on because I might have to move really fucking quickly, and I can't do that in trainers and a dress. And then that freaking gobby cow with me today, and I'm thinking, well, you know, like, to get the stuff down to the skip, and I've done that. Elijah's got to deal with his tractor probably gone tomorrow, but, you know, police officers to just check on you, whatever. Don't come to my door and say you're asking me if I'm all right either, and it's like, what am I meant to do? Hello, police officer. Yeah, I think this is absolutely whatever. They're just called mental health, mate. Children gone, child protection orders. You're in a fucking court process, having psychological assessments, having your family freaking assessed, and blah, 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 blah. And you're on a tailspin that's going to car crash your life forever. And it's about time they understood the consequences of their actions, because it's fucking mental. It's torture and mental. I got somebody at the moment watching from my window downstairs. Here's a bit interesting. Is Dean turned up early? That's not Dean, is it? Bless. Oh, God, bless. I got a lad outside. He's obviously looking for somewhere to pitch up for the night. He's got his backpack underneath. There's a gate down there. If you're looking for somewhere to sleep, there's a gate down there. There's a bit of a gate. Bless. Yeah. He's looking for somewhere to sleep. Pitch down for the night. It's the way it is for some people, isn't it? Even on these wet, horrible nights. So, I just think I think I have every right to keep standing up for this, because if I don't, who the fuck is going to do it? If I don't. And you know what, mate? If I've got to keep taking it to stand up for the truth, so be it. I would rather be punched and kicked for the truth than to be something I don't want to be. And I can't be anybody other than somebody who stands in her own integrity. And my knee is absolutely battered, and I have every right to have the right treatment. And people who don't understand the condition, they just touch you wrong, they just deal with you wrong. And I don't have to worry or fear about people being. I'm sort of understanding why Muslims can't cover their hair now. I'm sort of understanding more and more and more why you just have your home and live the way that you do, and you just deal with the outside world in a very different way. And I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't want to be that way. I didn't want the world and the cruel world to change me. I didn't. I've even done my best to make sure that even things that happened as a kid, you know, didn't alter and change the way that I treated people. But like what they've done once it's your kids, it's different. You know what? I can go through anything. You can do what you want to me. I'll overcome freaking anything, but not when it comes to my kids. Not when it comes to my kids. That's different. And they can't even child protection, mate. What that system should be saying is this is an EBS failed, it being absolutely failed, and now we, the system, is going to actually put together a proper assessment. And it's like, but if this one doesn't do their job and the other one does and this one doesn't, housing then didn't turn up, and so they didn't get the information from this particular one, and they've gone through with this ideal home, perfect home in their mind, but then it's going to cause double problems for me. It's like when my body's really hurting, I can't even go for a bath. I can't even go for a bath. And my boys do that. That's how we deal with our body. That's what we do. We go for a really hot bath. I can't even do that anymore. No wonder I want euthanasia. I wonder. I'm gonna fucking. Oh, seriously, I'm gonna produce a document to these people that